Yeah, I can hear fine. You ready? All right. So, this is Prinny. Before I start, I'm technically playing New Game Plus. The only advantage on Hell's Finest is that I get to skip the tutorial. So, 3, 2, 1, go. So, Prinny, it's a platformer made by NIS, who are known for making a series called Disgaea, a whole tactics RPG series, and then they just made a platformer or two. So, got the main character here, Prinny. The story of this game, though, is the Demon Lord Etna wants to eat the Ultra Dessert, so she sends her entire Prinny squad to go do that in the matter of 10 hours. The kind of style of gameplay is somewhat similar to Ghosts and Goblins in that I cannot change my momentum in midair unless I use a double jump. But there are also other things like spinning and dashing. The mechanics are still kind of a bit complex, even with that. So here we already are, pretty much done through the first stage. And also, this is Hell's Finest. Any hit I take, I die, and since I didn't hit any checkpoints, I would have been sent back to the very beginning of the stage if I died at all there. I can hit the checkpoints, but they cost time. So now I'm up to the first boss. This will give you an idea of how hard bosses are if you can mash.
Tough boss.
Tough boss.
Almost reminiscent of the Disgaea series.
Yeah, bosses are pretty easy in the Disgaea series as well. I speedrun those games as well. Bosses are not hard at all. So the stage order I'm doing is somewhat backwards in the default list that I'm given. It actually matters because the stages become harder the later you do them, at least with the first 6. So I'm doing this one second because if I do it any later, then I get a really long auto-scroller. So I can just skip that by doing it second. And there are 2 stages that I do last, and those have pretty large skips in them. So that's a large basis of the routing. Otherwise, it's just pretty much you want to do the later stages in the list kind of earlier in the run because it makes them easier and thus faster.
You were mentioning any single hit kills you. What makes you invulnerable?
Whenever I'm spinning, I can spin for about 3 seconds. I move really slowly when doing so, but I'm invulnerable after I wind up the spin. And if I'm going a direction after I wind up a spin, I dash and go significantly faster. And for each of these the bosses, you can notice that there's like a skull at the very right of their health bar. That's the number of times I need to hit them before I can stun them and do a lot more damage. And also, if you notice, I do my attacks in the air while still being close range, because if I do an attack in the air, there's a projectile attack alongside the melee attack I'm doing, so I'm just basically doing double damage. I like the music in this stage. I think jazz really fits a lava theme. And that's another point in like NIS or just Disgaea games as well. The composer of the music is fantastic. you can make really good music to pretty much any mood. Even the most basic of ones. Okay. So here is a section that, you know, you're supposed to get onto a vehicle, but that's slow, so just skip that. We're already past it. There we go. Good so far, haven't died.
Yeah, no doubts.
Yet.
Yet, yes. My PB has, I think, 5 deaths. It's either 5 or 6 deaths. And the world record, I think, is 5. So it's not deathless. And that's honestly how you save time in this run, is not dying, because deaths are really quite punishing. You can see at the end of the stages there, since I'm kind of playing on a save file that I've just been doing runs on, you can actually see my quote-unquote gold splits alongside the splits I got there, and I was 0.15
That
off.
last stage was really close.
So this stage is where we first see carpets really have a major effect. Oh, I died. I ended up doing a double jump right as I got to the edge of that. It's okay. It happens.
Too good to be true.
And an interesting note, if I bonk on that stair, I lose 8 seconds. Just because of how carpets cycle. They're kind of... The carpets are the moving platforms, like right there. And they cycle whenever you enter the stage, whereas everything else... all of the enemies act upon your proximity. So hitting the carpet cycles is an important part of both routing like the individual stages and just making sure you know where you're going, because it's not always going to be the same if you go from checkpoints.
Is there a point for going from checkpoints and resetting for carpet?
Sort of. You reset for another reason, but you also get better carpets. If you take a checkpoint and die intentionally, that happens once. Okay. This boss is... The strat I came up with recently is kind of tough. I've been failing it a lot. I need to mash fast. Nice.
What types of moves remove the skulls?
Stomping.
Yeah.
Only?
Yeah, you stomp on the enemies on the bosses to remove the skulls. And that kind of gets them into feint, or whatever, feint status, and you can do much more damage that
Yeah,
way.
when they're stunned, I guess.
Okay, we had some donations come in, support for the runner. Human, can I really be the donator? Let's show Etna who's the boss and beat her up. Put it towards Blindfolded Turbo Tunnel. Not as good as Blindfolded Volkmeyer's Inferno 100% run, not to do, and that was from OKI Gorgon for $50. From Prinny God, $10. This game is super hype, dude. I stayed up late for this one game, dude. There's gonna be a lot of dudes in these comments, I bet.
Speaking of dudes, one of you want to explain what Prinnies are?
Sure. Prinnies are basically lost human souls that have been trapped in, well, Prinny skins to pay back for all their sins in life. So in this game, yeah, you're basically one of these guys. You're extremely volatile, which is why whenever you get hit, you just instantly die. In the games, Prinnies are basically the blooper character that you throw around and they just self-destruct.
Yes, they explode when thrown. And they're kind of the mooks, or just...
Yeah, like the lowest level, like the grunts of the underworld.
That's the blooper of this game.
Which is why, kind of in the lore, I have that life count there. I've only died once, so only one Prinny has died out of 1,000. Casually, if you play through standard difficulty, you typically won't use all 1,000 of those lives, but in Hill's Finest, I have indeed lost all 1,000 of my lives going through this.
What's the main difference in the difficulty?
Hell's Finest, you just die in one hit.
Oh.
Standard, you have 3 extra hits.
Yeah.
So you actually have health. So coming up here is the one intentional death of the run. There's a self-destruct button. Or combination, really. And the purpose of this is to get that moth right here to go to the right. But it also fixes the carpet positions to be really nice. So that skips a good portion of the stage. Okay. To try and do the older version of this. Nope. This skip here is pretty tough. I've been having a lot of trouble with it in practice. Got it. Now for the rest of the stage. Like, normally the stage just goes like down, right, up, left, up. Wait. Let's try that again. No. I kind of screwed that up. I should not be talking there.
Can you stomp on projectiles as well?
No. So you see down there, there's a combo meter with it. And this game really doesn't do much. It gives you points.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are actually points in this game. You can have a score, which does nothing but give you a score.
Oh, not even bonus lives? No Super Mario here?
It's just,
No.
just there.
I need to actually look at my timer up there. I needed to jump off at 7:30. So this is the last of the first 6 stages. And then coming up is like 4 more stages, but they're always going to be the same no matter what. So you can sort of think of it like Mega Man terms. You have the first 6 that you can do in any order, and then the Wily stages if it were. So the other runner of this game is Jimmy Q Balls, or Quintendo Power. And he currently has the record to this game, and that's mostly due to the fact that he can mash really, really fast. And that's a lot more evident near the end of the run why that saves so much time. So this boss, the first hit is pretty hard. And pretty much once I get the first hit, it's kind of easy. Casually, it's a really hard and complicated boss, but it really isn't, because he doesn't have a hurt box for a little while after he's unstunned. So you can just kind of restun him and get him in the infinite.
Get him in the loop.
Also, this game has a lot of collectibles. There's actually a music CD above the boss, like way up there, and you have to stomp on him to get it. And there are these little dolls that you can collect, 3 in every stage. I haven't actually done that. I just want to play the game.
Was that DLC?
I don't think it's DLC. The DLC should be like just some extra stages.
Yeah.
A lot of these types of games are notorious for having a lot of DLC.
So with the kind of route I have on this stage, I cannot hit any checkpoint until the very last one, because either I'll die hitting the checkpoint, or I just won't make my carpet cycle. Also, I really like this part. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Now the carpets are... Oh. That would have been good. Missed my timing a little bit. So, I'm just playing it really risky there, trying to get a good cycle. And that's just kind of how I play the game anyway. It's also a real pain to try and route the stage from a checkpoint, because there's no actual RNG in this game, like none at all, which is why it looks to be really difficult what I'm doing, and it's not actually that hard. You just need to know what's going to happen. I'm going to take this checkpoint, though, for sure. This upcoming section with the entire ground covered in orcs is kind of rough. So on average run, I expect to get like 10 to 15 deaths, maybe a little more. And that's just how it goes. You can't play perfect every time.
Yeah, it's a very challenging game.
But really, most of the time loss is just going to come from deaths. If I go deathless, I'm not going to really lose time from movement that much.
Yeah.
It's just like 1 or 2 seconds here and there, maybe. That said, you still want to actually optimize each part. There are a few things about that fight. If you notice the first stomp there, if you slide and stomp immediately after a slide, you can actually stomp. You're technically considered in the air right when you start a slide. So usually that's just tech that lets me save frames. But in that case, it actually lets me get in all 3 stomps for a feint before he even does his first attack. And here we have the boss rush. So this would be a pretty good time for donations.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. We have $20 from Chris Neosi, who is the voice of Void Dark from Disgaea 5. Although these pretties are lowly and pathetic, I shall donate $20 of me to protecting my precious sister Liaise from cancer. Keep up the good work, my many secretaries of the demon world. $50 from Kratosauron Zero. AGDQ, we can really beat the cancer. Donation applies to runner's choice, other than save kill the animals. Good night on your late run, dude. $25 from Nimbus. Miss Etna, I get the feeling you're trying to kill us, dude. Why not let us live like you're letting the Yoshis live, dude? $20 from Anonymous. Good to see this guy get into games done quick in some capacity. Best luck on the run, dude.
Thanks.
Here we go, dude.
$30 from Zycan Alpha. Nice job going through this game. When I saw that Prinny was on the list, I felt I had to donate during it. My mother was recently diagnosed with thyroid cancer, but she's yet to give up, and neither are we. Remember to have guts, smarts, and muscle, and save the animals, dude.
Okay. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was a new one.
That wasn't intentional?
No. I think that is a first, actually missing that first hit. Oftentimes the problem is actually hitting Annis on the wrong side, and that's with a lot of bosses, because when you hit them they get stunned a certain direction, but I want to be kind of in their hitbox anyway, to do as much damage as I can. But if they go the wrong way, I can't get them in a corner and just corner them to death.
Will they always spawn from the same spot?
The bosses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no RNG in this run. Everything, if you play the same way, you will get the same thing.
We have a $218 donation from Shimmy Z. Shoutouts to everyone who makes AGDQ a reality. You guys help prove the world isn't such a terrible place. I lost my mother to cancer at a young age, and my hope is that no child has to watch a loved one suffer from this disease ever again. Couldn't think of a good donation amount, so I went for the highest number of rupees I've seen on stream so far. Good choice. $100 goes to naming Radio Waifu, the rest goes to announcer's choice. All I want in return is a hype item jingle. Do-do-do-do! Kick cancer's butt, and good luck to all the runners. Shout out to my fellow Navy soldier from earlier. Go Navy.
It always feels so good when I get a stage right and don't die. I always do. I kind of snap my fingers, just, boom, I got it. Yeehaw. The bosses just die really quickly.
You're making this look a lot easier than it is on casual. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I'll say it again. No RNG goes a long way. Also, if you notice, when I'm hitting the switch there to get to each of the bosses, I try and go to the right side of the switch, just because it saves a little
saves
time.
some frames.
Saves frames. Alright, so this refight is kind of tough. Her health is in just kind of the wrong amount to make it easy setup. That's not good. You can actually one-cycle her if you get the right positioning and mashing. Let's see if I can get a backup. Okay, I got a backup. But yeah, I need to, like, start up my attack the frame I can, or frame or two that I can. And I also need pretty good positioning. Also in that little part of the stage, I came up with that setup to bonk the archer. Normally you have to just go around, and the way I did it before, I just jumped and hoped I didn't die. So, once I came up with that setup, it was really, really nice. Also, the bosses, when they get low on health, I think about a third, they get into what I call red mode, and they'll just move differently. So I need to be aware of that, because usually they move faster, so I need to stun them in separate positions, and that's relevant for the next boss. And the final form of the final boss, like this is the final stage coming up here. The final form is a thing. Quite a few people probably quit when they figured out what you actually had to do to beat the boss. Because, you know, through this game, mashing fast helps, but you need to mash fast for the final boss. You cannot stun the final form. He's got a lot of health. I should actually hit that checkpoint.
What type of frame limit is there on smashing?
There's no limit. If you can mash at 30 hertz,
Yeah, I mean,
you do that much damage. That's like 3 times as much. That would be 3 times as much damage as I'm doing right now. A little less.
I can see Osu players being good at this game.
I'm actually gonna hit this time. Usually I don't need to, but I've actually died this little section a few times like I just did earlier. I didn't get double damage against that thing, because I wasn't close enough. That's supposed to be the safe strat. Well, this is new. I haven't died 2 times in a row to this. At least this strat. There we go.
Is that, it hasn't happened before?
I mean, I guess. But like anything I happen to do hasn't happened in sequence. It's just nature of the runs and speedruns in general. Okay, that's how you're supposed to do that. Now boss time. So the first form, in some ways, can be more difficult than the final form, because the positioning and such is kind of tight. The red mode. So right here. Okay. And we're gonna need to be quiet. Not because it's that hard, but because there's no way I can talk doing this. That's really good. And time. Not bad. It's not bad.
Solid.
So if we have a little bit of time, I'd like to show the final cutscene. It's about 1 minute. All right. So it's after the credits. We get to see the resolution. So there's Demon Lord Etna, Prinny Squad. We've got the Ultra Dessert.
We got the Ultra Dessert, dude! We barely made it on time, but here it is! I honestly didn't expect you to pull it off. Like, at all. Way to not suck. Thanks! Go ahead, dude! Give it a try! What is this garbage? This is seriously the Ultra Dessert? I can't eat this! It looks like boiled dog guts! Well, I'm just glad we pulled it off, dude!
You're right. Maybe the Prinny Squad could split it, dude.
Well, it seems like you guys worked pretty hard, so... I've got a big party planned for tonight! Really? For us? Awesome, dude! And it's only 5,000 hell at the door! Holy crap, dude!
Yep, that's Prinny.
That's that.
Can I really be the hero? I could give a couple shout-outs. Shout-outs to Zeragus, the person who did the segmented run on SDA. That was he was basically the person who routed it and started it off. And Jimmy Q Balls for being another runner and doing some other finding some other cool things on this game. All right, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you very much for that awesome run, dude. Coming up now, we have Strider 2 by Chuckles825. Any percent run. And for those just coming in,